Should I submit my story to a publication or just publish it on Medium under my profile? I've been getting this question a lot lately, so in this video, we will clear things up. Let's start with the basics in case you're completely new to Medium. When you've written your story and you're ready to publish it to the world, you essentially have two options. The first option is to simply hit the publish button and your story will automatically go live on Medium. This means that it will be displayed on your public profile page and will be available for anyone to read. It will also be discoverable by search engines such as Google and by Medium's own search feature. Your story will be displayed on the homepage of people who follow you in the latest from following section. And it might also appear in the from people you follow section in their email digest. Your second option is to submit your story to a publication, your own or someone else's, but for the purpose of this video, we will only focus on other people's pubs. Publications are a bit like magazines on Medium that focus on a specific topic. If you want to know more, check out this video where I explain what publications are. If your story is published in a publication, it will appear in its latest stories. Depending on the publication settings, it might also appear on the publication homepage or its feature pages. Now that you understand what your options are, should you try to publish in a publication or simply publish on Medium? Well, there are pros and cons of both, so let's talk about these. Publishing in a pub, pros and cons. There are a few benefits to publishing in a pub rather than just on Medium, particularly for new writers on the platform. Number one is that you can get in front of the eyes of new readers more easily. A publication comes with its own readership. It can be gigantic, it can be small, but it's some readership which you get access to when they publish your story. If you publish on Medium under your profile, your story might be shown to your own followers and people following the tags that you've used, but you might simply find it harder to find new readers. Number two is that your writing can get better through the editorial process. When you submit to a publication, an editor might suggest amendments to improve your writing or make it more suitable for Medium. And this is useful feedback. In my experience, the edits are normally quite small, but even little feedback is valuable. Number three is that you can actually get paid. Some publications like Zora, Elemental, Forge, and The Ascent pay for your articles, flat fee or per word. I link some Medium articles below that list the paying publications so you can find out more. In terms of cons of submitting to pubs that I can think of, there are relatively few of them and I think that they are quite subjective. The biggest one is that when you want to write for a publication, or in other words, you want to join them, you need to pitch or apply before submitting your very first story. This is because the owners or the editors of the pub want to make sure that your writing is up to scratch and that your writing style would vibe well with their pub. But this may take time. You might be waiting around, sitting on your brand new story, ready to publish, and sometimes you might never hear from the editors. Even if you've already been added to a publication as a writer and you want to publish more stories, you still need to submit every single story for review before it's published, and that also means more waiting around. If you're not in a rush though, or you publish stories so frequently that having a delay here and there is not a big deal, then this wouldn't be a big disadvantage to you. However, some writers, myself included, can get impatient and just want to be able to publish right away, and this is why having to wait around might feel like a big disadvantage. So what about publishing without submitting to a pub? What are the pros and the cons? Let's start with the cons this time, because with all the pros of publishing stories in a publication that we've already talked about, you might be thinking that publishing simply on Medium, or in the wild as one of my viewers called it, might seem like not such an enticing option. And yes, it's true that if you are a beginner on Medium and you don't have a big following, it might be more difficult for you to reach new readers without using publications readership. and you're only going to be able to earn from the Medium Partner Program if you're part of it. These are the cons. However, the best thing about publishing right away under your profile is that you don't have to spend that extra time applying to publications, and you don't have to wait around for a publication to accept and review your every story. Another big benefit of it is that ironically, you might be able to get into publications anyway without having to do any extra work. I have this theory, which has worked for many of my stories so far, that if you publish your story just on your Medium account and then the story is chosen for further distribution, aka is curated, this is an important step, publications, editors will find your story and they will get in touch with you, offering to home your story in their pub. This way you bypass the whole application process and waiting around, and the only thing that you need to worry about is writing a good quality story that will be curated, which is something that you would want to do anyway. I also made a whole video about this topic, so if you want to know more, I recommend that you check it out. So what should you do in the end? Submit to pubs or simply publish on Medium? Assuming that you focus on growing your audience because you're just starting out on Medium, I'd suggest trying to submit to publications whenever you can or want. Don't feel like you have to submit to pubs, but also don't feel like you should refrain from it. But if you're tired of waiting and being rejected, focus on writing a story that is curatable, and then, if my theory is correct, you'll still have a high chance that editors will find your story and will add you to their publication as a writer, and they will publish your story in their pub. I hope this clears things up, but if you have any other questions about this topic, let me know in the comments down below. And also let me know if you have any suggestions for new videos in the future. Thank you to everyone who's already submitted their suggestions for videos. I've seen them and they are on my list. If you never see a video on the topic that you've suggested though, don't be offended. It's probably because I felt like I don't have enough knowledge yet to tackle the topic, but I might tackle it in the future when I feel ready. Either way, thanks a lot for all your suggestions. And thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to subscribe, it would be awesome to have you in the try. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.